Hello everybody, this is Jonathan Montic with 1000 GM. I'm here with Grandmaster Victor
Matviishen.
Matviishen, so sorry. And so congratulations on your new title.
Thank you.
We're gonna start off just with some games and just like look at the straight up play, and then we'll end with some personal questions
Sure,
if that's fine
yeah.
with you. So I pulled up some of your games here. And then you can just take us through this is from round one. So just introduce the round and like kind of talk about the positions
Okay.
as you're ready.
How do I flip the board?
You can you want to flip to your
Yeah.
other side? Oh, no problem. No problem. There you go. All right. And then we'll put that back. Okay, so here's from black perspective. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so I'm playing black against like only 350 player. I was hoping to win, to be honest, because I saw he was playing like some weird lines here in Sicilian. So I switched to Sicilian, but I have played this in like most recent tournaments. So he was kind of prepared, I believe. And yeah, this is just a normal Najdorf. And here he plays Rook G1, which was kind of a bit of surprise because he usually plays H4 here. So he usually deviates on move 6. And here he did the same thing, so Rook G1. And the only thing I knew about Rook G1 is that, okay, I have to play E5, Knight B3 and Bishop E6. It makes sense just to push D5 as quickly as possible, because there is also B5, but I feel like it's just irrational, because if you play B5, he goes G4. Okay, you can play Bishop B7, but there is no rook on H1, so why would I play B5? You know? It doesn't add up. So yeah, and I played E5, Knight B3, Bishop E6, but I mean there is H5. I think it's a better move, just because if now white wants to play H3, now I can do the same thing. I can play Bishop E6, and now it's just better version of this, just because there are no H pawns and I have like an open file here. So yeah, but anyways, I played Bishop E6. I knew all this. Yeah, and I mean here I was out of book basically, but this position doesn't seem to be like super dangerous. So yeah, Bishop B6, Rook D7, G5. Yeah, Bishop B6, just because I mean there are some ideas like Bishop H3, so I want to basically exchange the rooks. Captures, Bishop C4. Yeah, here I made an inaccuracy by playing F6. Probably the best move is like Bishop E8, but this seemed to be like too passive. I don't know. Like,
yeah, you thought your rook would get stuck.
Yeah, my rook gets stuck. So yeah, this looks just weird, and that's why I didn't play it. Basically,
is that what the best move is?
Yeah, it's the best move. Also, I was thinking about Bishop E6. Yeah, it looks like again kind of irrational because you don't want to double your pawns, but at the same time sometimes like it works out pretty well because you develop, you have some like you have control over like these squares, so sometimes it's alright. But then I was like, okay, he will put knight on E4. I mean, it's just
I just see like rook E1 and then like problems, you know. I feel like this is.
My pawn on E5 is well protected, so rook E1 doesn't do much. But yeah, I mean,
like,
he can play slowly,
over like let's say D2, make a blockade, king up, or something like annoying.
Yeah, he can play it slowly, and I have no targets in this position. Like I can't attack anything basically. So yeah, that's why I didn't like it. I played F6. I thought like as long as I don't let him play Rook G7.
Can you get this nice check?
Yeah, and I have this nice check. I thought that as long as I do it, it's okay for me.
Sure.
So yeah, C3, just a normal move to basically cut off my knight. Bishop F5.
Yeah,
Bishop
E3.
Yeah, King C7, Knight C5. Yeah, so here's quite an important moment. I have to give up my bishop because otherwise he goes Knight E6.
Yeah, for sure.
And I thought that it's better to give up at least my dark bishop, because if I give up the white square bishop, then it will be even worse for me. So yeah, I just take captures.
But you take that decision like super seriously, right? When you like decide like you're gonna snap off a bishop for a knight. You calculate that probably longer than most moves in the game. Or did you just feel that like this knight was inevitably going to be too strong? He's committed too much.
I thought that I will like anyways I will need to give up one of my bishops, so it should be like dark square bishop. This is what I thought. Yeah. Because like I don't know, for instance, actually it's hard to make a move if I don't play bishop c5. Like
don't see what to do.
I can play bishop g6. Like I don't want to play bishop e7 because then he gets rook g7. So if I play like bishop g6.
much better.
Yeah, he still goes 96, and he
then,
at least.
At least, and then it's doing it on his terms. Your king's in the wrong space.
So
it's the right time.
I thought it's okay. I just capture. He captures bishop g6 just to stop rook g7. This would be quite annoying. So rook d1. I thought, okay, I mean, I have to trade the rooks. And we got this position. I thought it should be holdable for me, and I was like quite optimistic about this one. Sure. Okay, he has two bishops. Like it's a strong like advantage in endgame, but at the same time, like I have a good pawn structure here, so I can draw it. And somewhere here I was like, I should at least try to trade at least one of the bishops. Actually, it's a good strategy. Almost like in any position, if you're playing against two bishops, usually you want to trade at least one of them, because two bishops in like together they control like a bunch of squares. And it's like it's like a strong power, so that's why you definitely wanna trade them.
So
at least one of them.
So you use your one bishop to get rid of the pair. It's like a pretty common. Or it would be better maybe make an obstacle bishop using your knight if possible, but you would use either of your pieces to get rid of any of the bishops.
Yes.
Of your opponent. Basically.
Of course, it doesn't apply to like all the positions, but like mostly like in chess, like there are some rules, but usually like chess is a game of exceptions.
It's like these rules that apply 90%
of the time,
and then 10% is not. And if you don't identify the 10%, then you just lose on the spot. This
is like a common mistake. You tell some like I don't know weaker players like, okay, you should be doing that, and then they believe that you should do this like every time 100 and in some positions it's just bad. So
but this one's not an exception, because like this is like that's actually a good rule, because like when you are in the position, because there's like will be tactics problems, things out of your control, exceptions, and then when you are in the inevitable position where you have the knight bishop against the two bishops, it's good to know what those pieces' jobs are. And if you just think that you're going to try to set up a tactical advantage with your knight and bishop without trying to take off the other bishop, then you'll get lost. So
sure. So he should have definitely played bishop d3 here, just to retreat, not to trade the bishops. Then I have to play f5 probably because the pawn is hanging. So f5, f3 just to stop e4. And now it's like super hard for me to make a move. I can't move my bishop. I can't move my. I mean, I can move my king, but I was thinking about like
knight e7,
knight e7 or knight e8. But actually, if I play knight e7, it's a problem, because actually now he can capture, and maybe this endgame might be quite.
Because his king can actually get to the palm.
He can play like king e3, and he can play f4
just to make a hole, sneak his king in.
I don't really want to play e4 because then I have pawns on like the same color of my bishop, which is bad in this endgames, in this type of endgames. So and he has majority here, so he can create a passer. So this would be like a choice for me, you know. And this is the thing. At least he could have tried to put some to set some problems. But probably I would have played just knight d8.
Sure.
Maybe knight f7, knight d6, you know. And but he can still press. He can play like king e3, c4, b5,
expand,
whatever. Expand, and this is quite dangerous for me. But he just took, and I was like super confused. I didn't expect this move at all. So I was like extremely happy. Now I just take, and now actually he has to be sort of precise, because if I play king d5 and b5 with this pawn, my knight can get an outpost on c4. So I can even play for a win here. So he has to play like king
super sharp.
He has to play like king d3. And he has to be careful, because if I play king d5 and then b5, he's worse. So I play f5 and f3 just to stop e4.
You're almost ready to break through the center.
b5, ab, and for instance, he plays c4. I feel like if he plays like king e3 or like some random move, I just play king d5. And now I can like reroute my knight to like c4. So it's just unpleasant for white. So he has to play c4, and here actually I had to be precise, because if I just take it easy, and if I just take, he has a passer right now, and my king is on e6, which is okay, but
and you don't have a guaranteed passer because you have this really.
His bishop is just stopping my pawn. I can play e4, he captures, I capture. It gets stopped. Like, okay, he plays b5. What I'm gonna do with king e5 and like king d4, and he still has a passer. So and the main problem here is that his bishop is the same color as like this promotion square, because otherwise I would just give up my knight for this pawn and run to this square. So it would be like a theoretical draw. But since his bishop is the same color as this corner, so I can't do that. So yeah, that's why I played e4, basically tactics.
Sure.
King c3. If he captures, then I just check on e5. He goes somewhere, and I take with my knight, so I don't let him create a passer. Okay, so that's why he plays king c3, and he was hoping for ef. This pawn looks dangerous, but at the same time his bishop it's just cut off, it's cut off, so no sense. Yeah, he just takes, and then b6. I mean, I can lose here, so yeah, I decided to play knight e5.
I like that move, because then you're like, the way this simplifies out is like,
yeah, it's like
very forced.
Yeah,
like
super precise. Yeah,
very precise. Like, yeah.
Because again, if I just take.
I remember this game. I think we looked at this game already. Yeah.
Okay, and if he captures here, then I take with my knight. And okay, if b6, I just go king d7, so I'm stopping this pawn. And I have two pawns here to connect the
and now he can just charge through, knight supporting the two pawns, and the king doesn't even really need to help. The knight could probably be a bit...
Yeah, I can play around these pawns, and like, yeah. If he goes king c4, I go king c6, then all I need is just to take this pawn and put my king on b7. It will be enough, at least to make a draw, so, yeah. So yeah, that's why he basically captured, and I mean, this is he should have played king d4. Oh, sorry, king d4 in this position.
We have to go all the way up, or else the board will not be centered. Yes.
Okay, king d4. So I go like king g4, and he goes king d5, like king h3, king c6. I have to play knight h3, and he goes bishop d6. Like super simple draw. I can't make progress, and yeah, he also can't do much here, so it's just a draw. But he decided to play like bishop e7, and he offered me a draw, and I was like, okay, it should be objectively.
Yeah, it's like now slightly better for you.
It should be equal,
but it's nothing that you could ever.
Yeah, but like, give me a second. Yeah, I will try it. Yeah, and I played knight e5.
Give me a second, I will try it.
Yeah, and and then like king e4, so my king gets active. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to put my knight to d5.
I like that. I see where you're frustrating. If you could play like 200 moves, I think it would work out.
yeah, maybe. And yeah, but actually, I was kind of like inspired in this position. But then I realized that he played this like king b2, king c4, king c1 quite.
Oh yeah, because then he's already prepared to slide over. And and just like put the king as a blockader, and bishop as a second blockader. And you don't have enough pawns under any circumstances.
Exactly. So. Yeah, here like I could try to play something like king d3, king b.
So what do you think when you're like inspired, but you're in like a drawn position, but you feel like you're like Magnus Carlsen today? You can just squeeze it through the wall.
Yeah, and actually he could set some problems for me, so that's why I was kind of happy, because now I can torture him. Yeah. So that's why I was sort of optimistic about my position, but yeah, when I just calculated.
Yeah, because are you feeling like the odds of like these little like low time, I'm tired blunders? Is that something that you capitalize on in these drawn end games, at least for a little bit?
Yeah.
Like as a tactical thing, or just a fun thing?
Fun thing.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I mean, it's just nice to play the position where you're not worse, and like you can never lose this position.
Yeah, it's like frozen, so you can just enjoy this game.
Yeah, so because your opponent can always make some mistakes.
So then, you won't lose, but they still can.
Yeah, they still can.
So that opportunity cost for you is huge. Like it's worth the investment of like a little bit more moves.
Yes, sure.
Fine. That's really cool.
Yeah, because once in a while you will win this position.
Yeah, absolutely. And then even if it only pays you like 1 out of 50 games, like that one game might be super important in your progress. Yeah. So let's jump over to the next the next set of games. Team. And I'll turn off the AC so you can hear our GM a little bit better. Sorry about that, everybody. So go ahead and we'll start on this game. Introduce the opening.
Okay, so when I was preparing for this game, I looked at his game. Actually, he's quite talented. I didn't know him before, but I think he will definitely become a GM. Maybe actually this year. He's like 12.
Oh,
he's
really?
Rated, yeah, he's 12. Like,
dude, this kid just played in St. Louis like 5 seconds before he played it.
Yeah, I think he has played like in 10 tournaments this summer. I don't know. He was playing actually a lot in Europe, and I mean, I got confused because like he's super talented. Like at this age, having this rating is like amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw that he's.
So he's 10, like, he's 10 for real, 10 years old, or just like very young.
He's 12.
He's 12.
Yeah. like for 10 it would be too much.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm gonna retire today.
Yeah, he's 12.
That's crazy. Because I watch his games, like from the IM event, from the other event in St. Louis, and like he was playing against some top people and just throwing down crazy games.
Yeah, I saw actually he was beating like some Ukrainian GMs, like strong GMs, like around like 2600 in like classical games. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, I saw that his main opening is Catalan, and so I'm like texting my friend. He's also a chess player. Yeah. He's like actually he got the GM title the same day as I did.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he was playing in
the same tournament or same.
No, he was playing in somewhere in Europe, but it was just the same day. And I was like, hey, I mean, I got my GM. He was like, congrats. So did I.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
And so I texted him before this game. I'm like, how to play for a win in Catalan, and he was like, okay. He sent me his game against some random guy, and I like this game.
This A5 idea. And
this A5 idea, and I knew this because I'm playing Catalan myself, and I don't know how to play here as white. I mean, I didn't know at least before this game how to play against it, so that's why I decided, okay, if I don't know how to play this for white, so I should try it as black. It makes sense. And yeah, he goes bishop g2, castle, dc. Actually, yeah, he probably the best move here is queen c2, just to defend this pawn.
Sure.
And
there's
then
no threats on the queen.
then
there's no knight up there to hit the queen, so.
Yeah, and yeah, the main move is like c5.
Sure.
And then it's like cd, some like knight d4, queen b6. I mean, some theory.
That's fine.
So yeah, but he played castle. Now I can capture, and if he's trying to attack my pawn, I think I just take here and I just defend it, and he can't really take it back. Like he can play a4, but then I play c6. And I think the main line here is like b3. Yeah. So okay, he's down a pawn, but he's got some compensation because he has like these great outposts for his knights.
But you have good space. Your development's almost done. I feel like you got a lot out of this still, like for like the fight. I mean, you have a weird pawn, but it's gonna go away in a second because as soon as the bishop moves, you're gonna hold the a pawn.
I mean, black is not risking in this position. Yeah. So yeah, I felt like this should be okay for black. Yeah. Anyways, he played. But he played capture and knight e5. Actually, I didn't even know that you can capture in this position. At this position, I thought it should be objectively lost for white, so I overestimated my position.
We did this, we looked at this game like very recently, and like it's crazy. Like these two pawns are super strong. So.
Yeah, and yeah, here is like knight c6. It's actually the common move in Catalan. Usually you can see lines like instead of a5, actually sometimes black take. Bishop g2 and there are like moves like bishop d7 and then like knight e5 and then bishop c6 or knight c6 or like knight c6, knight e5, or not knight e5 but castle. I mean, this knight e5 is like super common, so he was just playing like probably like he would play against a normal line, but here it's just bad because I go knight c6. Like it's bad probably to get up this bishop because now I will have a really strong bishop. Yeah, it's like a good scope for my bishop, and his king will be like super weak. So yeah, he took
after like queen e6 or something, right? Like because your queen is getting hit.
Okay. Yeah, bishop c6, rook a6, and I blundered here. Initially I was going to play rook a5.
Yeah, that's
It was like really
it's a really good move.
Yeah, because then you bishop can go to
you can
a6.
Swing to the king side.
Yeah, it supports e5.
Yeah, it does everything. Yeah, it's a very utilitarian.
Yeah, and then I was looking at rook a6 and I was like, oh, this looks interesting because I was like only thinking about like bishop
like
b5 and then I go rook d6.
Yeah, so you're trying to get speed off of the bishop.
Yeah, sort of. And I was calculating some lines here because okay, if e3 then I apparently play e5,
great move.
So this should be okay for me. So the main move here would be queen a4. So at least he takes on b4. So I capture. And I didn't like this position for white for some reason.
For white?
Yeah, I think I calculated something, but I can't really remember.
It looks like that you're going to be able to get a kingside majority in 3 turns. So, like, there's like knights going to come in, queens can come in, bishops set up to come in, and there's nothing that white can do to stop you from doing any of those ideas. So, I like that's like the maelstrom of a bunch of pieces coming towards the kingside right now is going to be really hard for white.
Yeah. maybe like knight e4, and then if he goes here, maybe c5, something like that. So it should, it should be okay. Actually, maybe even like just bishop b7 on the spot. So I have this queen d5 idea.
No discovered ideas,
if he captures, I don't know, like.
No, you can play bishop d5, right?
But then he plays b3. Oof. So yeah, if I give him some time to develop his pieces, then actually I can be even worse because he's up a pawn apparently. Yeah. So yeah, actually I remembered like some lines, but yeah, something was wrong with bishop b5. Sorry for the distraction. Yeah, and then like he's playing bishop g2, and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? If I play rook d6 now, he just goes queen e4, rook d4, queen b4, and why am I better? He has a strong passer, and I can't really use my activity here, so his bishop is great on this diagonal.
Was it the idea that you were just gonna try to force a rook d2 and then you try to clean up pawns from there, or you just don't feel good about anything about this?
No, it doesn't look good at all. No, because he's gonna develop the knight. I mean, I don't have any targets. His king is safe, what is like, which is like quite important in this position.
If knight develops, then e2 is safe, and so it's like
Yeah. So I mean, if I just played rook a5, I feel like he might play like, I don't know. Probably he should retreat because I still want to play queen d6. So I will ask him to go away. Let's say he goes to f3 or to g2, and I can like play queen d6. If he plays knight d2, I just take on d4. So he should play e3 just to support this pawn, and then I can play like bishop a6, maybe e5. So yeah, rook a5 was much better. But yeah, after this I can't play bishop a6, so I just decided to play like my normal move, queen d6. I thought, okay, e3, I play e5. Again, if he captures, then I just take. It's okay. My queen is super good right now. If he plays queen c2, I can even play like bishop f5. So if he takes on c4, I take on b2. Okay, so he plays knight d2. If I take on d4, he captures. This is bad with tempo, and then he takes on d4 with queen. So yeah, I defend this pawn. He captures. I capture queen c2. Yeah, and I played c3. Yeah, because like somehow I need to protect this pawn. Actually, there was like rook a2, quite an interesting line.
With the fork.
Yeah, because if he captures, I fork him. But I thought, okay, at least he has queen c3. I should trade the queens. Captures rook a1, and I can't protect my pawn because his bishop is
the Catalan bishop is always so strong.
So yeah. That's why I didn't play rook a2 basically, and yeah, c3 is okay. If he plays bc, like this is kind of dangerous, because I can take with queen, he captures, I capture, and I have like a strong passer. And okay, if he plays like knight f3, I can block his a2 pawn, then I can play like rook a8 or b8, maybe d8, like maybe knight e4. So this looks sketchy for white. So he decided to play knight f3. Queen e4, okay.
Just to normalize the position?
Yeah, because I mean my queen is hanging. If I play queen c5, then he's gonna probably like do something like rook fc1. Oh, sorry. Yeah, like rook fc1 or even knight d4. So I don't even try to take on b2. Yeah, so I feel like queen on c5 is just misplaced. So yeah, queen e4. Capturing is bad because I take, and now his pawn is hanging. He should take, and then my knight on c3 is like super strong. So he can't even play like something like rook fc1 because I go knight e2 fork, and his pawn is hanging on a2. So this was bad. That's why he retreated. And yeah, here was like quite an important moment, and I felt like I should have some advantage, but I just couldn't see how. And one of the moves was like this backward move with queen, which is like impossible. Kind of hard to realize and to notice basically, because.
Do you want to explain why backwards moves are so hard? Like
they just don't cross your mind.
Yeah, because like you never think, because like chess feels like fighting, right? Like it feels like you're boxing, and no one ever punches like this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just not a very normal thing to do. But in chess, when that happens, like they can change the game on the hat. But like it's so hard to like know when it's time to think that the reverse is the aggressive position, I'd say.
Yeah, I feel like it's just either you see it or no.
Yeah, or do you think that some people are more creative and they see those moves more, or do you think that for all chess and all types of things, it's just less natural, so harder to see?
No, I feel like definitely just some people are more creative, and I feel like maybe they just look for this kind of moves because they want to make some creative impression.
But I feel like the when you're like, because I feel like I'm kind of this side where I try to do creative ideas instead of just doing the best idea all the time. This is like my speed chess career, and if you play like quicker, more hustle-based chess where you try to swindle, then I feel like that becomes more popular. But then the higher you get up in the ranks, I feel like that loses steam, and by the time you're at even like the expert master level, like you have to kind of switch those opinions out for more objective ideas. But then you have to be able to find these exceptions and be able to see like, oh, well, actually in this case, this is the fantastic idea. And so it's almost being the normal robot player for 90% of the game, but then being the artist for that 10% of the game when it's appropriate, and never doing too much or too little. Is it just the balance between those two things?
I mean, there should be a balance, because like it's like a common mistake for probably beginners. They they attack usually all the time, and they just know how to attack, and when they can't do it like successfully, when their like attack like is over, they just don't know how to play, and like
second to draw.
They get bored, and they don't want to play. And like in chess there should be balance in like everywhere, like even in such moves, because like you should play objectively good moves basically, and
all the time if you can. Ideally, if in a perfect world you just play objectively the best move all the time. Right?
Sometimes yes, but like usually yes, but sometimes according to the computer your move might be bad, but if this move sets some problems for your opponent, it's just hard for him.
When I say objective, I don't necessarily mean the computer agrees, because we just tried to make my camera work for like 5 minutes and it couldn't even turn on. So computers are great when they work, but when they're not perfect, they're not perfect. And sometimes computers will think of ideas that are so anti-positional, so anti-material, so anti-just normal chess, that like if you follow that line for this exception, it's like not a 10%, it's like a 0.0000001% exception. And so it's almost not worth like interpolating some of those lines, because even if like it is a swing, it's not a recreatable swing, like, or that situation is not going to come up like that again, right? So like, do you get rid of those exceptions, or do you try to even interpolate, oh, in this ridiculous line, computer says just play king over 100 times and it's right, or do you ignore those moves because they're not practical and they're hard, like you wouldn't really be able to use it again? Like this is a practical idea that you could use multiple times, but if it gets like overly computery, do you start to disregard it as a disgusting engine line, or do you try to interpret it as like, oh, that's interesting, I should try to figure that out?
So I mean, if I have a choice like between like a computerish move and like a normal human move, and I don't understand the computer's move, then I will definitely choose like my option. But if the computer's move is the only one in this position,
of course,
that saves your game.
We're not going to correct. Yeah, we're not going to correct the objective answer. But there's like infinity window moves, positions where there's like 5 or 6 slightly different positions where the computer can't even decide, and the human actually is much better suited to decide a candidate move, because it understands like the knight on the rim is dim. I should put my rook on an open file. Oh, I have 2 bishops. That's fantastic. Computer doesn't think about any of those things. It just is like sent upon analysis, and so that's why I think humans still add a lot to like the strategic space in chess. Whereas a lot of people think that it's like, oh, computers have figured it out. I'm like, well, they figured out table bases, but they haven't really figured out all these amazing strategical ideas and practical ideas that like what you use like over the board, basically.
Yes, sure.
Long discussion over one move. Sorry, everybody.
Okay.
So what we'll do is I want to do 2 more games, but we're going to finish this game and then we're going to do a part 2. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure.
So I want to make sure we go through all this.
Okay. So Queen A8 was the best. Didn't cross my mind. There was also Knight D5, but again, it didn't really cross my mind because it just looks suspicious. Like his knight can his knight can fork me, and I don't like having my queen like
X-ray.
Sure. So that's why I decided to play Queen C4 just to protect my pawn.
Sure.
And he captured. I mean, he played really well here. He equalized without any like problems, and I didn't even have a chance to set some problems, you know. So yeah. So we agreed on draw. Okay.
Good games. So we'll get into this next round. This is from round 7, and the part 2 of our interview here. So we'll do just a quick pause, and I want to just make sure that all the audio is going good too, and that'll be perfect.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in just a moment with